What's up, guys? It's JZNES back again with another video. Today we're talking about Pokemon Legends Arceus. Finally. I finally beat the game and I'm here to talk about it. Actually, I've completed the game. Kind of. I'll get into it. Basically, in this game, I'm sure you already know, but it's kind of the open world Pokemon game we've wanted since we were kids. I know there's the whole joke, it looks like a Wii game or whatever, which, like, I don't get that. I think it looks really good. I think graphically it looks fine. All the Pokemon look really nice, the animations look nice. I know it's the landscapes and whatnot, which people want to criticize, but, it's not really that bad to me. I really enjoy the aesthetic. I think it looks really nice, and I think that, like, all the Pokemon, like I said, look really well animated when you're out in the world. You can see them all there, and that's another nice thing. I mean, I know there's, like, the draw distance stuff, like they say, but, like, I feel like that's all fine. It really never was that distracting to me. The only thing I ever noticed was, like, a few visual glitches at, like, the beginning of the game, and that was it. Like, literally, I don't think anything else, like, glitched or anything, as far as I can think of. There were times when I was kind of pissed off because the enemies were too good and they would just kill me, like, instantly. Especially with the fucking Arceus fight. Yeah, like, there'll be some spoilers, I guess, a little bit, but, like, you know, not like immense spoilers, I guess, but, like, I'll just say the Arceus fight kicked my ass, like, really hard. I did do it, like, all last night, so but it took me, like, I don't know, probably like 2 hours or something just to beat that fucking fight. Because it's like some, you know, it's just like every other alpha fight, or not the alpha fight, I mean kind of alpha fights, but like the boss fights, the frenzied Pokemon fights, you know, like that you experience throughout the game. You're dodge rolling and shit, like some Dark Souls game, but this is like, there is no time for resting. Like, every second you will be hit by something if you do not dodge and keep attacking at the same time. You're not gonna win, and the only way to win that fight is to continue multiple times with his health bar, like, iteration, like these, like, 4 different parts of the health bar, and continue and just, like, keep going from there, as far as I'm concerned. As far as my skill goes, that's where we're at here, because, like, it's really challenging. But also the Giratina fight was pretty tough near the end there, and the battle, it's really because there's 2 battles leading up to it, or, well, there's 1 battle leading up to it, and then there's 2 forms of Giratina, which is, like, it's hard, you know. It's just really tough because you don't ever get to heal in between there. So what I would do is, like, when I was fighting in the first fight, like near the end of that fight, I would heal up some of my Pokemon to revive stuff. And, like, I don't know if max revives are a thing in this game. I think they are, but they're, like, super rare, and I don't know how to make them. So, like, maybe that was just me being stupid or whatever, but, like, I couldn't just max revive, so I had to revive and then give it a potion. My whole team, like, oh yeah, I have the game right here. My whole team couldn't even, like, handle this shit. I got through the first form of Giratina, and then, like, it just was, like, so really hard when I would get to the second form because of the first battle before Giratina even, and then it was like, I couldn't even do it. So, basically I just leveled up a little bit, like, not too terribly much. I threw my Dialga out in the front of my party there and leveled him up a little bit, because he was, like, level 65 or something. He was a little under-leveled compared to the rest. So this is my final team here. We have Dialga, Gardevoir, my shiny Tangrowth, which I got. That's the, like, other than the shiny Ponyta, that's the last shiny I got, and that was, like, day 2 of this game, and, like, I haven't seen a shiny since. So yeah, I caught him and I started using him. He was awesome. Really good Pokemon to have throughout the entire game. Very versatile. I got my Rhyperior here, which I caught as a, isn't he Alpha, right? Yeah, or she, sorry. Well, shit. Fuck. I didn't know it was a she. I caught this shiny Rhyperior as a fucking Alpha, I think Rhyhorn, or no, yeah, it was a Rhyhorn, and then I eventually got it to Rhydon, and then I remembered, oh yeah, it has a third form, Rhyperior, so I evolved that. And that was a Ponyta there, that Rapidash that I had since the beginning of the game. So yeah, very, very cool. Not even like it's not like the Alpha Rapidash or anything, it was just some Ponyta I caught at the beginning of the game, and I just kept it the whole time because needed a fire type. And then I had my starter Samurott there. Daito I called him, because, you know, samurai. So, yeah. So he's pretty cool. I never really cared for... Oh, yeah, I never really cared for much for Samurott before. But I do... God damn it, the green thing again. It always comes up in these videos. I don't know why. Oh yeah, and that's an Alpha Gardevoir, by the way, that I caught in, like, the last area. But anyway, so I never really cared for Samurott much before this, but I actually did choose him for that reason. Does this track just go on for forever? Okay, it's like 3 minutes long. It just feels like it's been forever. Is this like... Wait, we're like 6 minutes into the video. How is this track... Oh, it's just gonna keep looping these different versions of the track. Okay, that's what it is. So, specifically, that's why I wanted to choose Oshawott, because everyone was choosing Rowlet, and everyone, like, whoever wasn't choosing Rowlet was choosing Cyndaquil, and Oshawott was kind of like the low dog pick there. So, like, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I choose Cyndaquil in every Gen 2 playthrough, pretty much. I've like, chose Chikorita, like, once, and maybe Totodile, like, once. And I love Cyndaquil, but I've overused Cyndaquil. Thus, Oshawott, right? Because Rowlet was the popular choice. I wasn't going to choose that. I didn't give a shit about that. Oshawott. I thought, oh, maybe they'll make him bipedal this time. I was wrong. I knew that before the game came out, though. I'm like, whatever. I'm still going to choose Oshawott. I still really like Oshawott. I like Duat. I just didn't like Samurott that much. Well, I've come around on Samurott. I think he's pretty cool. I especially like the dark typing. Is pretty neat. So I definitely appreciate Samurott more. I still am disappointed by him not being bipedal, but, you know, we'll see. Anyway, maybe in the future, you know, who knows. But, yeah. So, you know, that's all some random shit. I mean, that's all just, like, scattered thoughts on the game. You know, that's how I go. But the game itself, Legends Arceus. Now, I was looking forward to this game, since about maybe like 2 months ago or something. There was a lot of hype around this game, and I'm not really one for open world games, really, unless they're curated and done well. And I like... Some people will be like, okay, the game feels really limited, and it feels kind of small compared to a lot of open world games. And I think that's a good thing. I am a strong advocate for this idea of density in video games rather than sort of just like this open area that like every like there's nothing to do in this area, or if there even is stuff to do. Like Breath of the Wild was pretty good, but like it still felt like there was empty areas. Like Skyrim, there's always stuff going on, but it's just like most open world games, there's not a lot to do in between things. And in this game, that's just not the case. There's always Pokemon around you. There's always trees and resources you can be farming as you go along. There's wisps to be looking out for. There's a wisp hunt, which is basically like the Korok hunt, like squeezed down to like 112 wisps or whatever. And they're like more visible at night. You can see them during the day. They're just like not as visible. And of course the pop in, like we were talking about before, like, especially for these wisps, like, the Pokemon are fine. Like, they put the resources to, like, make them pop in, like, at a good draw distance and whatnot. The wisps, though, man, like, you have to be right on that shit to find it. And there was a fucking wisp in the goddamn Crimson, or, not Crimson, the Coronet Highlands. That's what it was. The fucking Coronet Highlands. I could not find this fucking wisp to save my life. I went through the video that showed them all, like 5 times, just to that's like 20 minutes of my time, I mean, of course I skipped through a little bit, but like, ugh. And I just like, I looked for this wisp for like forever, and it was one of the spots that like I thought I had checked like 7 times, and there it was. Like, that pissed me off so much, that fucking final wisp. But anyway, it's fun to be looking out for that kind of stuff. You know, it's a nice little extra thing to be looking out for. Kind of another, almost like a Skulltula sort of thing in Zelda. You know, always watching out for them or listening for them. And of course, here there's no listening for them. It is nice that they added like a lot of sounds to the Pokemon, so you can kind of hear them. There's a shiny sound whenever shinies show up, which I never really got to hear much because I only found 3 shinies. I found a Drifloon at the very beginning of the game. I found... Who's the other one? Oh, a Mr. Mime in the first outbreak I ever did. He was just there in the first group, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, shiny Mr. Mime. And then that Tangela the next day, and that was it. And I didn't find a shiny since. I played 70 hours of this game. In the first, like, 10 hours of the game, probably, I found all my shinies. Other than the shiny Ponyta, which was, like, guaranteed. The request or whatever. Which is odd, because I was, like, maxing out the research pages and stuff at the beginning there, until I figured out, like, you just had to catch one of every Pokemon. I thought you had to have level 10 on every Pokemon, but that's just to get the shiny charm. But I thought the shiny charm was like you had to do every little individual research on each Pokemon. I guess I should explain that. I mean, like, probably most people know, but, like, this is a fairly new game. It's fairly popular. But, like, there's research now for Pokemon Pokédex. Like, you technically, like, get the Pokemon and it's, like, in the Pokédex, but it's not, like, registered in the Pokédex, let's say, until you get to like level 10 of this research. So there's stuff like watch it use this move this many times, and watch it use an agile style or a strong style, which is a new gameplay mechanic where you can choose to do a strong style, but your opponent gets 2 turns then, or you choose to do the agile style. It's pretty much the same thing as the like regular one, but you'll get in more of those if your opponent chooses to use like a strong style thing. So it's like, technically you're supposed to get more turns in. It didn't really feel like that, though. It felt like it was just like the normal move, but like weakened or whatever. Obviously, if you do the strong style, it's stronger. So it's kind of a nice gameplay risk-reward thing. I kind of hope that they bring that back in the next entry. Because playing this game and then playing Sword and Shield at the same time with my friend Mayab, that's the one we moved onto after Emerald. It's really been kind of an eye-opening experience of like how much potential there was in Sword and Shield that'll probably be realized in Gen 9. Yes, I know about Gen 9 now. That's actually all that news has come out. Sprigatito is my cat there, and I'm gonna go with that, obviously. Maybe that's the popular choice this time, but you know, whatever. It's a cute fucking cat Pokemon. Of course I'm gonna choose it. And the other ones are fine. Like, the duck is, like, kind of divisive, but, like, really, I've seen more love for that duck than I've seen hate for it, which is kind of funny to me, given that I thought it was going to be another Popplio situation. But I guess not. I guess everyone just, like, likes all of the starters. So, yeah. So, this, and that's the thing, this gameplay is kind of going to be used in the next iteration of Pokemon there at Gen 9. It looks like sort of open world, and there's the Pokemon will show up on the map and everything, kind of like in Sword and Shield, but like better than that, it seems like. But I kind of hope that they keep the strong and agile style, because I kind of liked that. It was kind of useless sometimes, but like whenever I wanted to do a strong style and just totally take down a Pokemon, like, that's good too. But, like, you know, if... It gives you the option there. And it actually can make the game slightly easier and slightly harder and stuff. And it's like, I don't know, maybe that's even, like, their solution to difficulty there, in a sense. You know, you don't have to use the strong style if you don't want to, or whatever. I thought that's how it was going to kind of be at the beginning. Is like, oh, it's going to make the game too easy. But it really doesn't. The game was really well balanced in terms of difficulty. I never, like, really struggled with the game, and I did die a few times, basically just because the Pokemon in the overworld are, like, super strong, and your player character is, like, super frail. So yeah, like, I did die a few times. It was mostly in the space-time distortions, because the guys just, like, gang up on you in there. I was usually able to get away from, like, the other stuff, but, like, the space-time distortions is, like, this whole thing. Like, rare Pokemon will spawn there, and, like, Pokemon that you can't really find anywhere else in the game, like Porygon and stuff. As the name would imply, space-time distortion, so you can even get some Pokemon from the future. Like, I don't think Magnemite would, like, spawn in this world, like, without that, so, like, that's how you would catch that. Kind of that stuff. And just some rare Pokemon, like, you get the starters there after you finish the game. Or whatnot, and you get, like, some ancient Pokemon, like, Bastiodon, right? Because now there's Basculegion, which sounds very similar to Bastiodon, which is the Shieldon, like, evolution thing. And then there's, what's the other one? Cranidos or whatever, and then the second form of that, Rampardos, or whatever. You know, so you find those in the space-time distortion things. There's new forms of Pokemon, too. That's pretty cool. Like, the Voltorb form, the Hisuian form. The Growlithe one is pretty cool. I do like that one a lot. The Zoroark form is cool. And, like, the new Pokemon that they added, like Cleaver and, Ursaluna, and the new, Weather Trio guy. It's the Weather 4 Quattro now or something. I don't know. The new one of those, was pretty cool. I did like that. He was, or she, because they definitely go out of their way in the story to say, oh, it's a she, like it's the only female of the, like, Weather Trio. Is the Weather, wait, okay, the Weather JZNES, is the Weather Trio the Hoenn ones, right? I'm losing it here, because, like, why have them be such similar names? Of the JZNES or whatever. There's a new one of those that's, like, fairy type or whatever. Those catching those, like, out in the wild and stuff, those were challenging, only because, like, the Pokemon around them were such dicks, and they would just, like, fucking wreck your shit as you're trying to, like, go after this guy. Like, their tornado things, too, are like, pretty hard to do. But what's cool about this game is you don't necessarily have to battle these Pokemon. I did do that with those trio of legendaries and stuff. Like, some of the legendaries, I think, do you have to fight all the yeah, you have to fight, like, all of them, I think, but so the fights weren't really that hard, but, like, the JZNES, they were just, like, so ruthless, and they were just, like, they're so fast, and they just go around, so you have to, like, follow around them on, like, your Weirdeer or whatever, and then, like, try to throw stuff at them. Or hey, Austin John Plays, or whoever, you know, all these videos I've been seeing, there's a better solution, guys. Stick back and don't even fucking worry about any of that shit. You don't need Stealth Spray. You don't need any of that. Feather balls, guys. I'm telling you, feather balls. That is the way to do it. You're like, whoa, that's a waste. You know why Austin John didn't know that, or, like, doesn't, like, do this for that trio? First of all, he uses sticky gloves all the time, which is, like, cool, but, you know, they're like, kind of not, like, finite, like, you have to go out and make those or whatever. You have to make the feather balls, too, but they're, like, so easy to make. So much more abundant and available, to me anyway. I had a bunch of those. So, what I did was, I would take the feather ball, go stealth mode, and then just, not, like, I didn't use the stealth spray, I just kind of, like, was in the grass or whatever, and I'd throw it from afar, and it would hit the thing without it even realizing I was there, and then it fucking counted towards the 3 hits that you have to do before you can battle it. Like, and they go a lot farther than your sticky globs or whatever, so, like, it's an effective strategy. So, pro tip, when you're fighting those guys, use the feather balls to just hit them. That's all you gotta do. It's like that easy. I didn't even figure that out until, like, the 3rd or 4th one. I think the 3rd and the 4th one I used those on. The one in the Obsidian Field lands, and the one in the Crimson land, you know, the Mine lands or whatever, I used that method on. But, like, pro tip, just do that. It's a lot easier. Than, like, trying to get close to them and stuff, because they just go, you know, they fly all over the fucking place. It's so hard. So feather balls, that's my pro tip on those. Catching all the other legendaries is pretty cool. Tracking them down, they kind of give you hints to where they're all at, but they're all like really a pretty cool different fight to kind of do. They're kind of different than everything that you like basically have to catch to that point, because you can pretty much stealth catch anything else in the game for the most part. There's some stuff you have to like battle and whatnot, but I like that. I like that the gameplay is either you can go and stealth catch it or you can battle it, and I went for the stealth catch most of the time because just like I didn't want to. First of all, I didn't want to become too over leveled, but like when you catch stuff, it like levels you up too. The problem with the over leveling was also fixed in this game. I know I'm like going all these different directions, but I just thought of that. The problem with over leveling, like the Sword and Shield, they balanced it. It's fine. Like it was still hard sometimes. I never felt over leveled, and especially at the end game when I was fighting Giratina, I felt under leveled, and I'm like, wow, this is like the first time in the game I've actually felt under leveled, and like that it wasn't like just fair difficulty. He like kicked my ass, and I'm just like, oh shit. But I didn't want to grind too much because I didn't want to make the game too easy, because that's how I'm conditioned to play Pokemon games now. Sword and Shield, if you don't grind very much, it's actually a pretty good game, you know? Like, it's actually challenging. And I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, but it's hard not to grind in that game. So you still get the experience share with all your Pokemon, and you still even get experience when you're like, you throw a Pokemon out to like farm resources and stuff. Also, pro tip, those breakable rocks, you're like, oh, I'll probably get them out for that. No, you just throw a Pokemon at it, and that's it. I'm a fucking idiot. I didn't figure that out until the end of the fucking game. Post-game, actually. I was wondering the entire game, what the fuck? How am I supposed to do this? And nobody's telling me. And then it's like, oh, you just throw a Pokemon at it. Fuck! That was literally my reaction. I was like, fuck! Like, I tried this before. I swear I tried this. It didn't work last time. Fuck! Oh well. It is what it is. You figure it out later. It's not that essential to the game, but it's just interesting. It's one of those things. There's lots of little secrets like that in this game. Not that it's a secret, but lots of little things to find out in this game, and little, you know, you got a bunch of missions to do and side quests. It's mostly just go find this Pokemon, fill out this Pokedex, give me this Pokemon, this and that, you know. And the rewards are like not always worth it, but they're sometimes worth it. It's all right, you know. They're okay. The side quests and stuff. Some of them are pretty good, but like the characters in this game, they're okay. You know, that's another thing. The story's like whatever. It's all right. You know, it's like a pretty decent story overall, but like I wasn't like super invested or anything. I like how there's lots of little references to the future games. I wish I was more. I will say, like, Sinnoh is one of those regions that, like, Sinnoh and Gen 5, like, I don't know a whole ton about. I played through them once, and that was pretty much it. Like, I was a one and done with Sinnoh and Gen 5. That, also a Gen 7. Like, those are ones that I'm not as familiar with. Even Gen 7, though, keeps, like, coming back to me in weird different ways. But some of those Pokemon I definitely forget. I will say that I know the Gen 4 and 5 Pokemon pretty well at this rate, so I do know that. But the lore and stuff and the characters from those games don't always, like, I'm not always super familiar with them. But there's a lot of references to characters that you meet in the future, and even some like Gen 7 and 8 characters, and even like I think there's like a Gen 6 character that they reference, like with their ancestors in the past or whatever. So that's pretty cool. Like, obviously I know, like, Cynthia and stuff, so, like, I knew, like, those characters were related to Cynthia. You know, and stuff like that, you know. It's just interesting, that's all. It's like, that all ties together. There's a good amount of lore here that's pretty cool. And it isn't really always presented in the story. The story itself is just kind of whatever. But the lore that you can find and the secrets and the little stuff you have to put together yourself, that's the cool stuff. The stuff to theorize about. That's what it's always like, you know, in these kind of games. Like, the stuff that you get to theorize about is some of the better stuff that's, like, really cool. So, yeah, there's that. Yeah. Like, I think the narrative's okay. And I do like that they gave your player character more expression now, finally. Ever since like Gen 7 and 8, your character like doesn't emote at all. They've had like this static face for some reason. Even in like Gen 6, like it wasn't always your character emoting, but they did emote sometimes. Like in the cutscenes and stuff, they weren't just like, they were like like, when you see JZNES or whatever, your character's like, oh my god, that's JZNES, like, whoa, you have like this reaction, like you would have if you saw a fucking legendary Pokemon. They're not just like they are in Gen 7. So, the characters react here, and they have like a, they do like that a lot, and stuff. So I think that's pretty cool, and I definitely like that a lot, that they gave the characters more expressive features here. Mostly your main character, and like some of your additional side characters there. But I know there's the whole criticism of how in town nobody walks around or whatever. I do agree with that. That is kind of lazy, but at least you can find them in the same spot every time. Sort of an RPG staple thing. I know even in like the original Pokemon though, they like move around, so it's like, yeah, I know. But like, guys, like, fuck that. Who cares? Like, let's get over that. Like, the gameplay and stuff is really good. This is like when people complain about the graphics and whatever. I'm just like, no, but the game still looks really good, and the gameplay is still really good, and like the only things that you're complaining about is like when you see a Pokemon like way in the distance that's like flying and the frame rate is like 8-bit. That's the only thing, like, and that's such a minor part of the game. It's like not even that important to the game. And people, this is what they're complaining about still. After all this time, it's the trees from Sword and Shield all over again. And it just pisses me off. But anyway, let's not even talk about that. That's fine. You know, that's whatever. Like, fucking people can complain about whatever the hell they want to complain about. Everyone seems to universally agree that the gameplay is really good, and there's a lot to it. And that was my main criticism with the early trailers for the game. I just looked at it, and I'm like, is this really going to be any fun to just run around and catch Pokemon like this? You know, like, this just seems like such a shallow idea. But I was fucking wrong as shit, because like the stealth elements to it basically made it Metal Gear Solid meets Pokemon, which is like two of my favorite things, and I love that. And thus I love this game, because I think it's really good. So there's like a level system for your character, to where when you catch a bunch of Pokemon and do some of those research pages and stuff, you get like this experience bar that keeps leveling up. You have to go and report when you catch all these Pokemon and stuff to the professor in this game, and he'll like give you money and stuff based on like how much Pokemon you brought back, how rare the Pokemon was, and is it an alpha or not an alpha. Alpha is like this thing in this game where it's like a more enraged version of the Pokemon, and they're like stronger generally and whatnot. And they're like bigger too. They're like bigger versions of the Pokemon. For instance, my Gardevoir is an Alpha Gardevoir, and it like towers over like a regular Gardevoir, which is much shorter. Like the regular Gardevoir is probably like my size as like the player character, and then like the Alpha one is like, it's like way taller than me. So that's pretty cool. And they have those everywhere. And those are like kind of confined to like certain spots on the map, so you can kind of like just find out like, oh, Alpha Gardevoir is here, and then you can go farm Alpha Gardevoir if you want. Another cool thing is the items. Like, they give you all these items, berries and stuff, that you can, like, use to throw to, like, catch the Pokemon. You, like, distract them for a second, and you, like, go in for the catch and stuff. That's pretty cool. Certain Pokemon, like, certain types of berries and stuff, you like, get the berries off the trees. You use, apricorns off the trees to craft your balls, your Pokeballs, that is. There's, like, 6 different kinds of Pokeball. Actually, there's 9 different kinds, because there's obviously regular Pokeballs, Great Balls, Ultra Balls. I use Ultra Balls a lot, and Great Balls. There's the Feather Balls, whatever the second form of that was, and then the Jet Ball. And then there's 2 or 3 kinds of Heavy Ball, which are like, they don't throw as far. The Jet Ball throws farther, and the Feather Ball and all that throws farther. I think they're called Sky Balls or something? What are they called? Like, let's find out, actually. I'm just making an idiot of myself. I have the game right here. So yeah, let's see. So you go, okay. Ultra Balls, Heavy Ball. I don't have any of the second form of the Heavy Ball. I know that I can make them though. Wing Balls. Wing Balls. What the fuck is that? Wing Balls. Oh yeah, and there's a crafting system in this game. I guess that's kind of what I was leading towards. Oh yeah, there's 3 kinds of Gigaton Balls. I like literally never used those at all, so... But the crafting system in this game is really cool. You have to craft your own Pokeballs, so you're always wanting to look out for resources and stuff. And so not only when you're getting these resources are you getting your Pokemon experience, but you're also getting your Pokemon friendship levels towards your Pokemon. A lot of Pokemon evolve with that friendship level, like Eevee obviously with Espeon and Umbreon and Sylveon. There's a really unique thing in this game. I don't know if they did this in the main series games yet, but like all you have to do for Sylveon is get it to learn a fairy move and then evolve it. So half the time I was just evolving my Eevee, expecting an Umbreon or an Espeon, and it would turn into a Sylveon because I forgot to take the fairy type move off of there. And a big improvement over all Pokemon games, and I pray that they keep this in Gen 9. I pray that this comes to Gen 9. It's time, guys. Take the TMs away as soon as we... no, keep TMs. Here's what you do. Keep TMs. That's fine. Keep HMs, or... there's no HMs anymore. Keep your TMs. That's 100% fine. That way we can learn the move if we want to. Now, what I'm talking about is specific Pokemon, once they've learned a move, it's kind of like the Materia system from Final Fantasy, or like in Final Fantasy VI, the Esper system, where once they learn that move, you could switch to that move anytime. You have a full list of moves, and you could switch to any move that you have learned. There's no move tutor or any of that bullshit. You don't have to do all that. You just switch, and that's it. And it's really good. That is so good. And they absolutely need to keep that. I pray that they keep that. That is such a good feature. Switching between moves. Admittedly, I didn't use it a lot. But if I was doing this in the main series games, this would be a really good thing to have. Please keep this feature. It is so good. It's so good. You can learn any move at any time. You can even have a system where you like level up moves. Another thing that's really fucking good. The IV Eevee thing. Usually if you get a shitty Pokemon, well, that's tough luck. Fuck you. Fuck you. You just got a shitty Pokemon. You can't do anything with that. Guess what? Here we are in the modern age. There's items now. Once you catch Pokemon, you get these items. These grit things and these, like, all this shit. These, like, different items. You level up your EVs, or your IVs or whatever, manually. It's like a skill point system. Actually, that's the way to do it. Right there. That could be it. Aside from, here's how you do it in the main games. I just thought of this. This is great. Aside from giving these items sometimes, what if when you level up, you get a certain amount of skill points, and you can put those towards whatever attack, defense, you know, like you do in games, man. This is how you do this shit in modern RPGs. This is it, and they know that now, I think. You invest in the skills you want. That's what you gotta do. It's a role-playing game. So, oh, this is so exciting. I'm just thinking about this. No more shitty IVs or any of this shit. God, Pokemon Go could fucking use this shit. No more shitty IVs or any of this shit. You don't gotta even worry about that. You just fucking invest into whatever stat you want. It's great, and I love it. And there's different rarities of these like items, like the higher tier ones. So there's like up till like level 3 or 5 or something is like the first item, and then like the next version of that item, the better version is like 5 to like 7, and then there's another one, and then there's like a 4th one. Or I don't know if there's that many, but there's ones that'll get you like 9 and 10, and those are like really rare. So like, yeah, like it's perfect. It's such a good system. You can invest in the stats you want and build up the Pokemon that you want without having to worry that they've got shitty IVs. You don't have to worry about that anymore, and that's great. And I hope that they keep that, for fuck's sake. Another thing I like is, yeah, okay, so there's a lot of Pokemon in this game that have, like, the evolution items or whatever. I like that you don't have to trade to use these items. That's good. Fuck having to trade and then trade back your Pokemon. That doesn't make any sense. I get why it makes sense to encourage trading and whatnot, and I do like that. But I almost like it better to just be like, hey, let's just use these items like you can do in this game, and just, yeah, that's it. You just use the item, and the guy can evolve, and that's it. Now, what I like is that sometimes you don't want to evolve your Pokemon. You know, you don't necessarily want it to evolve because you're still working on the research page for that. So there is kind of a dynamic, like, it actually, like, just puts a little icon there that's like, hey, you can evolve now, you know, like, that's cool. And then it's like, you don't do that when you want. You can evolve that anytime, man. You don't have to worry about it. It's not like some random battle happens, and it's just like, oh, I guess now, it's evolving, cool. Oh, do you want to press B, or do you want to use your Everstone, or whatever? You don't have to worry about that shit. And I hope this is what they take into the main games, stuff like that. Put a little icon there, and let us evolve it whenever the fuck we feel like it, you know? I love that. That's great. And they've put this into a game now, so they can't just say, like, oh, well, kids don't understand that. Like, fuck that shit, you know? Fuck kids. Who gives a shit? You're appealing to us. We're 30 now, okay? The kids that were kids before aren't kids anymore. You gotta put some hardcore features in your Pokemon games now. Can't be too easy, you know? You can make them easy, but, like, put a difficulty setting somehow, or make it balanced. Yeah, so stuff like that is, like, really cool. There's a lot of good quality of life improvements here. And I love that. The ride Pokemon are super good. Now, admittedly, you don't really use Ursaluna a lot. You do use it to have it to evolve itself. Well, okay. To get another... See, your ride Pokemon aren't the Pokemon that, like, your Pokemon are, if that makes sense. They're not, like, your Pokemon. They'll come and serve you, but they're not, like... They don't count towards your dex or all of that. So you do need to still evolve an Ursaring into Ursaluna. So what you gotta do is... It's like the most ridiculous side quest. You have to take your Ursaluna mount and, like, go around, and then randomly in the, like, the one area, it'd be like the Crimson Minelands or whatever, you'll find an item that's, like, super rare. This is also how you get the Cleaver item, is you get that there. But you find this item that's, like, super rare, and then not only that, not only do you have to find that super fucking rare item, which is, like, just a total gamble anyway, you have to find that, and then you have to know to go to the Moonview Arena on a full moon, which, like, all moons aren't full moons. You have to go through, like, the whole moon cycle. Luckily, when I did it, it was a full moon, and it was just, like, super lucky. It all just kind of lined up. But just to get that evolution for that Pokemon, like, this is ridiculous shit now. And if they can put that into a Pokemon game, I don't want to hear anything about, like, oh, kids won't understand this. Like, they have the internet. If a kid fucking wants to struggle with this game and not evolve a Pokemon, that's their fault, okay? Whatever. You make your Pokemon evolutions as difficult as you want. Now, was it kind of a pain to do that Ursaluna thing? Yeah, but it's pretty memorable. It's pretty cool. I kind of like that. Yeah, that's neat. Just stuff like that. Finding some of the evolution items were kind of a pain. You can always buy them. There's this system in the game where people drop these satchel things which have items in them. You go and pick these up. And I think, like, I don't know, unconfirmed, like, I'm stupid, alright, I didn't look into all this, but I think that other players, maybe when they die, they drop these things, and maybe that's what these are, but, like, I don't know how that works, also, so, like, whatever, like, maybe that's how that is. That's what it seems like. But, yeah, like, when you die, you lose a bunch of items and stuff, so that kind of sucks. But, like, you can't just go back and pick them up. That would be nice if you could have gone back and picked them up. That would have kind of been a little tedious, though, because then you have to backtrack and stuff. There's a lot of good spawn points in this game, and the mounts, like, make it easy to traverse the world, which is cool, you know, like, that's a big plus for the game as well. So, yeah, like, what was I trying to say? Like, finding some of the evolution items is kind of a pain. A lot of them are in those space-time distortions. So that's kind of the balance of that area, and that's why I died in there a lot, was because I was always looking for these fucking items while these Pokemon are trying to kill me. But, like, you could always buy them with these merit points, which you get by picking up those bags. That's what I was kind of getting at with that. So, you know, if you ever see those things, you have a map system now. There is even one marker you can set down that'll, like, put a marker out there. It's not like Breath of the Wild, where you can do, like, a billion markers. That would have been really nice. The game probably would have struggled with that, though, or something. So that's probably why they didn't do that. But, like, You can put one marker down that's like a flag that'll like put a waypoint in the distance and tell you how close you are to it by like hundreds of meters or whatever they're using as a measurement in the game. It doesn't matter. Like, you're this close to the thing and you get closer and you can kind of... That's nice. I like that a lot. There's always a quest marker telling you where like a quest is. So that's cool. Or like whatever quest is active or something, I guess. So that's neat. And then, so yeah, like you could set these wherever those little bags are, and then you can go pick them up. And that's what I just did. You know, like I would go and pick them up just because, you know, like I want the items and stuff. A lot of times they'll give you like those like sort of like experience items. There's like items that'll just give you experience. And there's like different like small, medium, large, big, you know, like rare candies even that'll just like level you up a whole level. And even those were in those bags a lot of times, so I just go pick them up for that, you know, like, is it kind of a pain? Yeah, a little bit, but, like, whatever, like, it's not that bad. So, you could do that, your merit points will slowly build up, and then you can, like, maybe buy, like, one evolution item, which is kind of what I had to do, because I never found, like, a Razor Claw or the Razor Fang, so I could never do those. But, like, yeah, so... You could still find those in the space-time distortion. Like, getting those space-time distortions to spawn is kind of a pain, because it's like, it takes like forever for them to come in. But that's fine. Like, I'm doing other stuff, and then if I see like space-time distortions up, I'm like, alright, cool, I'll go check that out. Like, you know, so the game's always keeping you busy with stuff to do. Not busy work, but it's like, you're always having something to do, and there's always something keeping the game fresh. You're not just like always... catching Pokemon even it's just fun, and it's always going towards a goal of you maxing out that Pokemon's research, or you getting more experience, or getting items off of catching that Pokemon, or whatever, you know, like that kind of thing. So yeah, it's all just really well designed and very like symbiotic with each other. It all works in a nice kind of gameplay loop, you know? It all kind of comes together, and that's cool. I like that a lot. I think that's really good. It's just a really good game, and I very much appreciate that, you know? It's just really fun. And I like that this game is like an open world, but like I finished the game, got all the Pokemon anyway. I didn't like max out all the research things. That's why it was like weird to say like 100% of the game. And I didn't do all this like side quests and stuff. But like I finished the game in like 70 hours. For like an open world game that like, you know, like it has like all this stuff you can do and stuff. Finishing like most of the content in 70 hours, that's really good. Like most people will be like, oh, well, there should be more content. And it's like, yeah, there is. For you idiots who want to go out and do all those side quests and shiny hunt and all that, it's there for you. You can do that. But for me, I don't want to do all that stuff. And like the 70 hours there, that's like not a small amount of time, but it's not like too much time. It's not like hundreds or like thousands of hours to complete everything Skyrim. And I appreciate that a lot, you know. Like 70 hours is pretty reasonable, and I can do that, you know. And the fact that I really like the game helped too. But like, that's a good pace to kind of complete an RPG game there. And I really appreciate that it wasn't way too long and overblown. I would have stayed around for it, but I'm just saying, like, I felt like it was the perfect amount of time there. I felt satisfied with my experience, and I didn't feel the crushing weight of like, oh, I don't want to keep going. This is too much, you know, like, I'm bored now, or whatever. I was always engaged and interested, and up until the very end. I can still go back and play some. It's just not as much to do now that I really care about doing. I've got other games to play. I gotta do the whole Zelda marathon. This just came out and I had to play it because it was really good and I got really hyped for it. So, yeah, and I'm glad I did, because this game was actually, like, really good. It's, like, one of the best Pokemon games since, like, like, Gen 3, probably? Is that right? Like, yeah, like, I mean, Sword and Shield was pretty good. This is way better than Sword and Shield, so... This is the best game, Pokemon game since Gen 3. That's the JZNES stamp of approval. JZNES stamp of approval right there. I really like that. And yeah, it's just, it's cool. It's a good. It's good. There's a lot of good variety in the areas. There's like 5 different areas, so the level design changes up good. I like how the mounts kind of are like, they help you to get to areas in previous areas that you couldn't get to before. Sort of a Metroidvania sort of thing, where you can go back and find new stuff and new Pokemon. Like the Growlithe, the Hisuian Growlithe, for instance, you can't really find until you get Sneasler or whatever, the climbing Pokemon. So that's cool, I like that. I like that there's a little bit of replayability there. You always are going back to old areas trying to find stuff, try to collect all the Pokemon there, that kind of thing. Doing tasks and like looking for some rare Pokemon, like the baby Pokemon, because they're always super rare. Or at least Magby was super rare. I don't feel like the other ones were that hard to get. Yeah, even Riolu was just kind of out in the open. So, yeah. But, like, that's the fun of it. Just hunting down every last Pokemon and the thrill of the hunt with that kind of stuff. And even I was having a conversation with somebody at work, and she was all like, she didn't even know like where Clefairy was and stuff, and I had just caught Clefairy, and I'm just like, oh yeah, here, it's over in the Fabled Spring or whatever, just go here and do this thing, and I was like explaining it to her. So that's cool. That's like, it's like Pokemon back in the day, where you kind of like, there's still enough mystery to it, and like, okay, the internet will tell you where everything's at, but like, not all of us do that, like, you want to keep some mystery to it. So it's like back in the day, you're like, oh yeah, I saw Jinx, she was in that. I don't know, where's Jinx in that game? You have to trade for it, or, like, was she in the cave, right? The Seafoam Cave? I think Jinx was in there. You'd be like, yeah, I found a Jinx in the Seafoam Cave, like, or whatever. I don't know why Jinx, because I hate that Pokemon, but I love to hate Jinx, like, but, Anyway, so I'm just saying, like, yeah. Also, where's that? Like, hashtag justice for Jinx and fucking Dunsparce and shit. You have a new Pokemon game where you're giving old Pokemon new forms, and like you decide to go with like fucking Ursaring and like Sneasler. Okay, but Sneasler already had an evolution. You can catch Weavile in this game too, but like Sneasler's cool. I like Sneasler, but like really, like, it would have been a good time to do a new evolution. Maybe like one that like went extinct a long time ago, or there's some reason that they couldn't have done it. Like, they better do that in some of these other Legends games. Is like, new evolution, we need Dunsparce, and then you could just play it off like you did with Basculegion, where it's like it's an evolution to Basculin, but you don't see it nowadays because it was just kind of died off or whatever, and something like that. Just give us new stuff like that. Everyone wants Dunsparce. We've been talking about it since Gen fucking 2. That Dunsparce needs an evolution. So, like, just do it already, alright? So we can stop talking about it. Like, I don't want to keep hearing about Dunsparce for the rest of my fucking life. Just get it done. Nobody... Come on. Like, let's do that. Yeah. Stuff like that. Like, some of this choice... Where does Scyther need another evolution? Like, come on. Like, I know it's a safe choice or whatever, but it's like when they did Meowth like 5 billion times, and they're still doing Meowth. Meowth's gonna be in Gen 9 too, guys. Oh, wow. Cool. How much do you want to fucking bet Pikachu's gonna be in there, and fucking... They're gonna have a new Pikachu clone. What's the Pikachu clone gonna look like this time? I don't fucking know. There's no Pikachu clone in this game. Although they introduced new Pokemon, sort of. Yeah, I mean, there's obviously new Pokemon. Yeah, like, I liked all the new Pokemon. So that's cool. The world design was cool. I like how diverse the areas were. And there was even some, like, dungeons. Like, I don't want to say dungeons. They weren't, like, big and open. But they were, like, kind of. So hopefully you get more of that kind of stuff again. That'd be nice. Yeah, and just like there's like a lot of good optional content, and I think that's cool. There's a lot of good diversity to the gameplay. A lot of good quality of life improvements in the game, and I like that. And I just like pretty much everything about the gameplay and all of that. Like the graphical stuff, I think is good. And the minor issues like didn't fucking bother me at all. Like I love this game, I really did. I had a really good time with it, and yeah, like I don't know what else to say about it. And it's really hard for me. I really want to give it like we did talk about the music. The music's pretty good. You know, like there's definitely some jams. A lot of it's atmospheric, which is fine, but like when you get into the battles and stuff, that's all really good. Like the evolution music too is good. Like I guess that's really fire. That's good shit. The village theme and stuff, like all that kind of stuff. Like just like the distinctified themes are all pretty good. It's good music, you know. It's really good music. So there's that. But it's like I'm debating, should I give this like, you know, like a really, really high score? Like we're talking like a 10 out of 10 here? Like, damn, I don't know, man. Like, it's gotta be close though. It's pretty fucking good. Yeah, you know what? I mean, despite, like, I didn't really have any problems with the game, I don't think, overall. Like, I made some stupid errors sometimes on my own part, like, dying in a place I didn't necessarily need to die to, and then, like, losing some good items and shit, and just carrying around a lot of that stuff. And, like, some of the boss battles were like the later boss battles. Some of the first ones were really easy. I spent like most of the cleaver fight on like one hit and you're dead. Like 98% of that fight was one hit and you're dead, and I did it. So, yeah, they just let you retry too. I think that's good about the boss fights. But anyway, like all that stuff's pretty good. You know, there was like small frustrating moments. They weren't even that frustrating though. Like they were just more difficult, and I think that's good. I think needs to be some challenge in these games. The explorability was nice, and just catching all the Pokemon and all of that was just such a fun gameplay mechanic. Even the battle stuff was all really good, and a lot of the stuff like the Ivies and the move thing and all of that was like really, really good. So I think I've got to do it. I think I got to give it a 10 out of 10. I mean, considering that I probably won't be playing that many more new games this year, you know, like aside from like Gen 9 and stuff, I'll probably play a few here and there, but like I'm trying to really focus on the Zelda marathon, and I only have time for so much games and whatnot. This might make Game of the Year, you know, like I'm not seeing what else can really come along and topple it. Like, yeah, it's really good. It's a really fun game, and I'm really happy I played it. You know, because I really didn't have a lot of faith in it initially. Like, I wasn't expecting a whole lot, and everyone wanted to temper their hype. And I think that was a good way to go into it, was to kind of, let's be cautiously optimistic and not, like, over-hype ourselves. But it ended out being really good. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I think it's a really good game. I don't really have any problems with it, for the most part, that I can even think of. And I really, like, had a great time with this game. I was always wanting to play it, and the 70 hours didn't feel like 70 hours. It's like when I played Persona 4, you know, it really just, yeah. Honestly, if I had to, like, redo my top 100 games list, it'd probably make it in there somewhere. It'd probably be lower on the list, but I'd probably put it in there, because, like, yeah, it's just really good, man. It's better than most Pokemon games, apparently, so, yeah. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. There you go. Really good game. Legends Arceus, man. And it's Arceus, not Arceus, by the way. Because I said so. So, there you go. Official count on that one. And until next time, this has been JZNES saying keep it classic. Stick around for more reviews, underrated games, and I'll see you guys in the next one. JZ, out.